Folks, it is Sunday evening, October 11th, 2020 is the date, 8:23 p.m. West Coast time here in California. And taking a look at the earthquake 3D globe here. Shows, some earthquake activity around the Japan area. 5.1 struck earlier, pretty deep movement there, just south of Japan. We're at about 407 kilometers below the surface. Latest quake on the map in this cluster of quakes over here near Chile, South America region, of 4.2, and a lot of deep movement down there. Some major displacement going on in the subducting area of the South America trench there. Also down here in the south region, seen a 4.9 in between the little tips there of South America and Antarctica. Almost right in between there. Some activity down here south of, let's see, where is this? Let me look here real quick. Nicaragua area. Looks like 4.5 striking around in that region. Pretty hot spot of activity there in historically speaking terms. Definitely pretty active in that region. But yeah, Chile definitely showing some major movement down there. No major like magnitudes, but we are looking at some pretty good increase in moderate activity there. Kind of a cluster, if you will, of quakes. Go ahead and swoop over here to a different map here real quick, and I'll show you guys what's going on. There's that 4.5 there. I got a lot of talk about there on the slow slip event movement there going on along the Cascadia subduction zone. We'll get to that here in just a second. Do want to cover what's left here on this map anyway. This is a 2.5 map from the USGS, and you can see a little line of activity over here across Texas and Oklahoma and parts of Arkansas. Just some minor microquakes going on there. And looking down here in the southland of California, a little bit of microquakes down there in the swarming area where we had seen last week, but definitely not swarming today. Just a couple small quakes in and around that area. Also for Nevada region as well. A little bit of activity over here near Mount Lassen. You can see this little swarm of small microquakes there. This is over the last 24 hours, so we got about 6 small microquakes there striking within the park there, within the Lassen National Park area. Not directly at the summit or anything like that, but still within the region. What we got going on up here? Mount Shasta, pretty quiet up here in the north part of the state, northwest California. I don't like saying northwest California. Northern California along the coast. We never say northwest California. Some small quakes popping off there. A lot of buildup out there along the Cascadia subduction zone. And some major tremor going on once again, folks. Let's check out that tremor map here. This is today's date, October 11th. You can see the major movement here. 614 epicenters of tremor just today. I mean, we could go back the past 5 or 6 days and see this map completely cluttered with some tremendous activity there. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. Let me see if I can bring this up. Bring in some dates here. We'll just go back. I think it started on the 4th. So we can go the 4th to the 12th there. And we can see on this map specifically almost 4,000 tremors being recorded there on the Cascadia subduction zone. Most of it confined into Washington, although we did see a lot of slippage here into parts of southern Oregon. But looking at today's date only, most of it up there in Washington area. That's a whole lot of tremor, and obviously a whole lot of stress and buildup up there along the Cascadia subduction zone. I found a little interesting article here on the pnsn.org website there where you monitor tremor, the pnsn.org. They talk about a little bit of different stuff here. Looks like October 9th, 2020, but this activity started prior to the 9th. This individual stating, I'm not officially calling it started, but the next NWA, we won't say that, may have started. Basically, a slow slip event, Tremor event that happens on a regular occurrence, I guess, is what they're stating here. Since October 4th, there we go, there seems to be increasing amounts of tremor each day in the central Puget Sound area up there in Washington. Normally, we like to wait to see a weak or significant tremor every day before we think an ETS is really underway. ETS is episodic tremor and slip. There have been periods in the past where several days of tremor peters out just about the time we think a real ETS is going. We definitely are in the time period almost exactly 14 months since the beginning of the previous ETS. Now, I mean, we see tremor going on quite a bit up there within those 14 months. It doesn't happen just every 14 months, and nothing in between. It definitely happens well in between there. But to this extent here, to this level, where we're seeing some major tremor there in that area, and it doesn't look like it's letting up, that's where they're bringing in the 14 months. Every 14 months is what they're claiming that this event basically happens every 14 months. It's major tremor. The one started on August 19, 2019 with tremor in the central Puget Sound and then slowly progressed to the north before pausing 2 weeks later not to start again for another 2 months. The tremor of the past few days is roughly in the same place. Looking at the original data and envelopes, it does seem to be a bit stronger over the past 2 days than when it started, obviously, right? So very tentatively, it has, I'll wait a couple days before an official pronouncement. So here comes the official pronouncement from the officials. Okay, so it started already. Indeed, as tentatively, what do you got to say these big words for? Said before, it seems late in the day on October 4th is when the first tremor was detected. And since then, there has been continuing tremor off and on every day, getting stronger over the last few days. This event seems to have started just west of Seattle under the Kipsack Peninsula, and then over the next few days moved slightly to the west, up dip on the plate interface, and spread both north and south. Over the past couple days, there is a hint that more events are in the northern part of the patch, and thus maybe it has started moving north, just as it should, to become a regular ETS event. Let's see. So, as additional confirmation, I heard from none other than Dr. Slow Slip himself, Herb Draggart, one of the original discoverers and namers of the episodic tremor and slip, who sent me the following. If I squint hard at the GPS results, there is the indication of westward displacement at a number of GPS sites on the west side of the Puget Sound, and perhaps one or more day of data will confirm this. Herb, like me, retired a few years ago, but can't seem to help playing with interesting geophysical activity. I trust his bleary eyes, and so will not even wait for one more day. Anyway, what do we got? Basically, what happens for this... Here's a little definition on the episodic tremor and slip along the Cascadia subduction zone. We found that repeated slow slip events occurred on the deep interface of the northern Cascadia subduction zone, which were at first thought to be silent, have unique non-earthquake seismic signatures. Tremor-like seismic signals were found to correlate temporarily and spatially with slip events identified from crustal motion data spanning the past 6 years. Okay. Where would this one go? Hold on one second here. Did I read over it or did I skip it? I think I may have skipped it. So basically what's going on is every 14 months we're starting to see this tremor thing. I guess it has been going on for quite a while, even though we do see lots of tremor along this area in between those 14 months. kind of what's happening is a displacement where they said westward movement on the GPS. There is indication of westward displacement at a number of GPS sites on the west side of the Puget Sound. So we're looking at displacement on the GPS. That means that it's kind of, instead of subducting there, it's kind of going backwards in a way. I don't know what the word for it would be. But yeah, it's kind of moving westward, if you will. It's not normal. I mean, I guess not normal as far as your normal slippage goes down here in this area. So obviously it's, it's a lot of buildup out there on the Cascadia subduction zone when we see stuff like this. And obviously I believe strongly that when we see these major slow slip events like that every 14 months, the possibility of a release of energy on the locked section of the Cascadia subduction zone increases. Let's see. ETS activity can be used as a real-time indicator of stress loading of the Cascadia megathrust earthquake zone. If you want to read that full article, folks, it's up there. ScienceMagazine.org has an interesting report on it, and you can read the full article there on that link. Once again, it's up here. Actually, if you really want to look at it, just type that into Google or any other search browser. Episodic tremor and slip on the Cascadia subduction zone. The chatter of silent slip. And they got a pretty good article. I don't want to read too much. I've already read quite a bit on it. So, it's continuing, and it could continue for definitely a while longer. But, it's just be on guard out there, folks. This is the time to definitely be alert out there. If you are out here on the west coast like I am. A little bit of activity down there in northern Cal, but I believe that was from a couple days ago. So yeah, the tremor continues for like day 6 now, I believe. Or day 7, somewhere around there. No sign of letting up. What else we got here, folks? Real quick, Yellowstone National Park, a little bit of microquakes there going on in this area of the park. Just a little bit. Just a few handfuls of small, very small microquakes there. Hardly showing up on any of the other seismograph stations. So that's obviously pretty quiet. I had somebody tell me that I moved the mouse around too quick. Sometimes I do. I'll slow it down a little bit. That way it's not all crazy. Yeah. A whole lot going on along the Pacific Northwest. Pretty crazy indeed. Let's see here. Showed you guys. You guys can see a little bit of that activity up there. A little bit of crustal quakes going on there. I just hope it doesn't go while I'm sleeping. That would not be good. Oh, what else we got here? I think that was about it. I got sidetracked on that article there. Space weather's looking pretty mellow. Couple small, very small sunspots going on there. Looks like they're on the surface of the sun right there. You can see those. This one here looks like it's completely died out. A little bit of activity there with 2775. But looks like as far as what do we got here? It's just a little bitty sunspot, man. I cannot wait for the sunspots to grow and we go into solar maximum. That's actually really cool. Can't wait. Get some major solar flares going on out here. Today in earthquake history, folks, real quick, out on the 11th, not the 12th. This has got to pick me up as Eastern time, I'm guessing, somewhere back there. Oh, that's right. There was a 4.5. Woo! 4.5 earthquake in Guatemala back in 1985 at the USGS, stating looks like there was quite a few houses and whatnot. Wow, about 80% of the buildings in the town sustained some damage. That's kind of crazy. 4.5 can do that much damage down there. Also, Puerto Rico don't forget, folks, you guys are in the area for some large quakes out there as well. 7.5 back on this date in 1918, Puerto Rico area. Most destructive earthquake in the history of Puerto Rico. We're definitely past 100 years there, right? Quite a few unfortunate fatalities. Also a tsunami that was produced there. 19.5 feet high. Woo! Pretty big quake out there in that region. As far as today, though, I haven't really covered Puerto Rico. Looking over there, looks pretty fairly quiet for the most part, as far as 2.5 and above goes. A little bit of activity down there. South or southwest of Ponce region, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Ponce. No, that wouldn't that be French? I don't know. Anyway, folks, I'm jumping off here. Have a good night. Please stay safe out there, and let's just hope that Cascadia holds together. Eventually, that's not going to be the case, but not tonight. Just not tonight. Just any other night. Need some sleep. Have a good night, folks. Stay safe out there. We'll catch y'all a little bit later. Peace.